Hello everyone, I'm Renae. Welcome to my art room. I'm here to do another Color Cube 500 series challenge. Today I am working on palette number 3, which are colors I never use. So this is going to be a challenge for me. This sample picture is beautiful. I love it. It's like an antique book. It's all the hardwood. It's beautiful, but like this palette, this intimidates me. So what I've got here is some raw umber, and I've got bronze. I just don't have that many browns. For this little pale, like kind of a pale, it's got a tiny bit of like a peach to it. So I have this warm beige, which is pretty close. They're calling it apricot, so that fits. For mustard, I have this dreamy lemon, which is, I mean, admittedly too yellow, but it's the closest I can get. And then this is chocolate, or this is copper. And I've got brown nutmeg. So, there's no way I'm going to be able to paint something with these colors. I just know my limitations. So, instead, I'm going to do some jelly printing. And I thought I'll do some jelly prints and then I'll do a collage using these colors. So if that sounds like something you're interested in watching, please stick around and wish me luck, because this is a huge challenge for me personally. All right, let's see how I do. All right, so I'm happy with these prints. Um, I think there's a good variety of colors, of values. Some are light, some are dark, some are on heavier paper, like this newsprint, and some are on lighter paper, like the wax paper, and the calligraphy paper. This is just copy paper. And I think some of the colors are really interesting. So I'm happy. I'm happy with this little collection of papers. I'm not going to use all of them, but I'm going to use a lot of them. And I have a variety to choose from, which is exciting. And these wax papers, I really love. Like this one, when I use the medium to put it into the collage, it's going to just melt in. I like these window motifs. I'm not sure why I was pulled to them. I don't use them a whole lot, but I like the way that they turned out. And then with the lunar paste, created some really beautiful textures and colors. It's got a nice luminosity. Have the windows again there. This is my favorite. It's so delicate and beautiful. Definitely want to use that piece. So this is the book I'm going to be working in, and I had already started to kind of give myself an idea of what direction I wanted to go. And I went looking through my papers that I have just already, and I found these. These are graphics from Graphic Fairy that I had printed out onto my rice paper, and they are perfect color coordination. And so I pulled them out to use them as background layers, but they really ended up inspiring the whole piece. As I was putting these down, these are like advertisements for clothing establishments. And so that really like inspired where I end up going, especially since I have those windows. I kind of latch on to this idea of a building, the facade of a building. At this point, I still don't know completely where I'm going to take this collage, but I have these windows, and I have a lot of this sort of honeycomb shape that reminded me, maybe it was an allusion to building blocks, building stones, bricks, and these windows represent some of the stories. You know, first story, second story of maybe this clothing establishment. Really love the way that copper turned out in the window. It gives it a really nice sheen. It's metallic. This one I thought could represent, just that the like a building facade, some bricks. This piece is great. Really happy how it's very dark. And so when I add the matte medium to it, those lighter areas are going to melt away. And so you can see through to the back layers, which is really cool. And then it adds a nice dark element to this collage. I just love that lunar paste. It's so pretty. So I'm just going to keep building up my layers, and I'm still kind of experimenting with where I want my finished product to be. I think these honeycombs were a fun choice, especially since they're at the top. On the top left, it's a beehive clothing, and I didn't necessarily, plan that. Well, I didn't plan that at all. But it kind of works out really well that it's this honeycomb pattern on the wall. And it's a beehive clothing. So I don't do it in this video, but I am tempted to go back to Graphic Fairy and reprint that beehive and make maybe like a sign. Maybe that would be too literal because this is sort of very abstract collage. So it might be too literal to pull that back out again. I just love that piece with the lunar paste circles. And it was the warm beige, so it's very light, very bright, very delicate. And this is the wax paper. Again, so when I put this down with the medium, then it's going to be very translucent. And you'll be able to see those back layers come through. Yeah, it's really cool. So there's quite a few papers I don't use in this collage, but I would rather have had too many, more than I needed, than not enough. So it was a fun jelly print session, and I love that one too. That's a really light background. I think I used the Titan buff on that. So it's very white. It's even lighter than the warm beige. Love how those turned out. I am disappointed about those little bubbles in that bronze window. I don't know that I actually noticed them when I was creating, or I would have made a effort to smooth them out. So I have another piece of this lunar paste that I definitely want to use. I just love the luminosity of those really light colors and the lunar paste and then the dark browns. Maybe that's some shingles on the roof. And that beehive, the wording was just sticking out too much. So I've put this piece down, but again, it's gone translucent. So you can still see some of the wording. Here's a close up. All those beautiful papers. So much fun. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. I think it was okay. There was no way I was going to be able to paint with all these browns. It would have just turned into a big mucky mess. So I appreciate you being here, and check out these other videos if you're looking for some more inspiration. I hope you all have a great day. Happy creating, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.